Hey everybody, welcome back to Brown Thumb Nursery. I'm Rob and I'm out here in the shade house doing some cuttings, and I just thought I'd bring you guys along. And what I've got here is a golden Euonymus. Let me get a couple different of the cuttings that I've got here and kind of show you the range of the variegation. Look, isn't that cool? I just love the variegated leaves, and you can see some on the shadier side of the plant are more of a green. And yeah, kind of cool. So anyhow, I got these. I'm getting ready to take some cuttings of these, so come on along with me. So, you know, just like most of the cuttings that I do, of course I have these here in a bucket soaking in water because you always want them to stay hydrated. It's, you know, been up and around 95 and 100 all week and stuff, in fact a couple weeks. So anyhow, you want to keep them hydrated, so I keep them in water. But then after that, after you got them back and you're getting ready to work on them, then let's just talk about what we can do. Somebody asked a question on one of the videos. I think it was a hydrangea video, because I was taking the hydrangeas and I was stripping the leaves all off, all the way down like that, you know, and then basically just leaving the leaves on the very tip cuttings. So on this here project, I'm going to do a quick experiment on these. I think I'll do one tray where I strip all the leaves back, and then another tray maybe I'll do half tray and half tray. That's what I'll do. I'll just do it like that, so I have all the stripped ones on one end and all the ones where I leave the leaves on the other end. So we'll just see how it works out, and you can check back and we'll do an update on it. So anyhow, you see, I just stripped back the leaves off of the cane there, and and you can see down here at the bottom, we've got the nodes are really close together. I mean, really close together. So no worries about that. But then as you get farther apart, up higher, you can see they're like about 2 inches apart. So just an interesting observation. So I'm going to go ahead and take and cut at the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and cut that a fresh cut, 47-degree angle, and then I'm going to come up, I don't know, I think I'll make these about 2.5 inches long, and make another cut underneath the node there, about a 1/4 inch, and then I'm just going to go ahead and stick. Oh, I'm not, because I don't have soil in my thing here. So let me go ahead and I'm going to set this aside here so I can get some soil in some. So I'm using my potting soil, which is my pine fines. I'm going to go ahead and get that loaded up in there. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and stick that first one, and I'm going to go ahead and just stick it all the way back here in the back, and we'll do the row of the ones without leaves in the back. And like I said, about 2.5 to 3 inches size. Okay, so now we're down to the very tip, which I always leave the leaves on anyhow, but you can see how this is kind of cut back or whatever, chipped back from bugs or something, I don't know. Anyhow, I go ahead and just trim those back. You probably didn't see that because I had it out of the camera. But anyhow, so let me just keep going here. I'm going to go ahead and, so now look at this. So you can see on this here, these bottom here, well, you could see if I'd show you, I guess, huh? This is just a small little branch, but down here it's got like a branch coming off. That can be I'm going to go ahead and strip these lower leaves off of there and use that as a cutting as well. I'll go ahead and trim the leaves back there and go ahead and stick that on this end. Then there's another one like that. We'll do that same thing. Trim the leaves back a little bit. And the reason I trim the leaves back is because it keeps less material to get dehydrated. And so that one there I just broke off, and so I'll do that same thing. And just trim the leaves back. You have a hard time getting them in there. Sometimes you got to take a dibbler of some sort and pre-make a hole for it. So, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing where I strip the leaves back. And so now you can see this has got a node that came off of a branch, another branch, and it was cut there probably last year or something. But I'm going to go ahead and leave all that on there. You can take, for extra credit on this, you can take and scratch that bottom there. It didn't work very good. You can take and, like, let's switch it around. Taking your thumbnail a little bit or something, a blade of some sort, and just kind of scratch that cambium layer. That helps it, gives it something to go out there and do, help make roots. So cut that 47-degree angle, and then stick this one back in the back, and then this one here, cut that one about right there. And the one with the leaves is going to go up in the front. So yeah, same thing, just going to keep going. And now I could also do it to where I don't strip the leaves back on a branch. For instance, like this here. Let me cut this one off here. Go ahead and cut these side branches off. All right, cut all them side branches off. Well, let me go ahead and just stick this one, because this one here still has all its leaves on. So let's go ahead and just do this one like that, like I was talking about, where I leave the leaves on. So now you're gonna strip the leaves off on the part where it goes in the ground, and then leave just a couple on the top. Now this isn't the tip cutting, this isn't the top of the branch. That's this. I cut off here. So this is not a tip cutting, but yet I'm leaving the leaves on for this experiment. I'm going to go ahead and cut some of that off of there and put it on this end, because we're putting that with the end that's got leaves on it. Okay. And this was the tip here of that very same branch. So I'm just going to show you a few of these so you can get an idea, because everything doesn't look exactly the same, you know. I cut this back, and I think I'm just going to make that as one whole entire cutting there. Trim the leaves back. Oh, struggling to poke through, so make a little hole for it. All right. So you can kind of see what I'm doing here. I'll just take it how it comes, however it comes, you know. If it comes with the branch, I'll use the branch. If it comes, all these tip cuttings I got here, do that. See another one that's got several branches off to the side, so break off the branches. And then each one of those will be a cutting of their own. So now you can see here where where it ripped off the tree branch. That's okay, that'll help give it something to root on. So leave that there. I'll go ahead and cut that up here, and then put that'll be a good cutting there. All right. Now you can do this same thing with hydrangeas, or just about any kind of shrub. Now hydrangeas, you can use single nodes. You wouldn't have to have all these nodes up and down the stem. So, but you can go watch some of my hydrangea videos. I got several. All right, so I got one tray done. I got obviously enough material over here to do more than one tray, so I'll go ahead and keep doing that, but after I talk to you here for a second. So the next thing I do is put a little bit of fertilizer. And this is a just a basic slow release granular type fertilizer, and I put it on very light, and I talked about this in other videos, but just gives it a little bit extra boost that it may or may not need. But in this in these pine fines, they're high in carbon, and that which will rob the nitrogen from your plants. So that's the reason I do it. So that's the reason I do it, is because it's got, you know, you don't want the nitrogen being robbed from there, and it just gives them a little bit of nitrogen boost, and just in case, right? So anyhow, so I'm gonna go ahead and put a label in this thing here, tray, and put it over there if I can find a spot, and get them watered in and get on with another tray. So I have to remember that not everybody watches all my videos, and so I need to kind of go back over all the basics kind of thing when you're doing cuttings. And so you saw how I cut them. You saw I put them in my pine fines, which we'll just say potting soil, because I have them out in the open here, but they're under a mist system that's on a timed system. And if you had them in an enclosed area like a propagation frame, it's covered with glass and there's no air circulation, I wouldn't use potting soil, because then you'll introduce mold and fungus, and you'll lose a lot of plants that way, so, or a lot of cuttings. So that's why I can use the pine fines with this. And I've got a system set up here. I got the shade structure here set up, and so it doesn't get full sun. Gets daylight obviously, but no full sun. You don't want them in direct sunlight, because that'll scorch them and dry them out, and they'll just die. So just things like that to remember. Basically humidity and light. You don't want sunshine, but you do want humidity. I mean, you want light, but just not sunshine, direct sunshine. So anyhow, we'll check back, and I'm going to do the rest of these trays where I do that half and half thing as well, with the leaves and the no leaves. And then we'll just see, you know, I guess after a couple months, we'll see whether they take root or not, or, you know, that kind of thing. So anyhow, check back here in a couple months. If I don't do a video, you get on me, because I do forget. So anyhow, thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll catch you on the south side. God bless.